What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about HCWC Wellness Corp. I want to go over some of the data points, what's been really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So it's been a while since I've done a HCWC video, but I have been keeping tabs on them because of them getting some pretty abnormal volume. Enough so that I even posted it on my Patreon saying that it is going to be a pretty good swing/day trade opportunity, and lo and behold, it had a very nice push higher. But what is very odd is that there hasn't been any news. Even people on Reddit very much kind of looking at the abnormal volume, but confused about what is truly happening. So this is kind of what's prompting this video, and as well there's one positive thing I do want to bring up. But if we pop over here, there hasn't been any news from HCWC since January the 5th, and my last video was roughly around that time period where I kind of talked on their earnings. But there was this that did come out on February the 17th, a 8K. And for those individuals that kind of read into this, you would know the kind of the cause ultimately of that abnormal volume. So if we pop over here, it does show that certain holders was going to exchange their notes for up to 4 million shares. And based on kind of the conversion price, it was actually going to cause the stock price itself to move higher because of the recent price action of HCWC and the VWAP. So ultimately, that abnormal volume and that push higher was linked to kind of dilution, and I was very clear on that as well when I did post about it. So just kind of warning people that they needed to be cautious, but you could definitely make some pretty good money based on that. And so it's rather comical. So people were very confused on what caused all of that, but it was simply dilution. So what is coming next, in my honest opinion, is that it is going to kind of trend down from here, based on just kind of this right here. That kind of looks like it does cover most of that volume that was kind of dilution. Plus, at the same time, there was a lot of day traders and swing traders that kind of caught on to the volume. And I believe even on February the 20th, during the pre-market, it was one of the most top 10 kind of traded stocks during that time frame. So crazy stuff. Definitely it had its time in the sun, but regrettably, I do believe it is going to kind of probably trend down from here because there hasn't really been that much in crazy catalysts that you need to really buy the stock. So it was a fun time right here, but I'm sure a lot of people want to know what is coming next. And unless they have more kind of dilution events planned that would cause similar price action and volume, I don't really see much kind of upside from here. If I'm going to be, again, hopefully I'm wrong and it just continues to move higher. But yeah, just wanted to kind of break that down for you on a positive note. So I've been covering HCMC transitioning to HCWC for a very long time, and ever since this spin-off, my biggest issue is that how can a stock on the New York Stock Exchange not have its own website? And I am pleasantly surprised to see this right here. So HCWC, so they did change the logo a little bit. Healthy Choice Wellness Corp. Pretty good stuff. I kind of popped over, just looked at some of their stuff. It's good. You can kind of see a lot of stuff that links to the old HCMC, but yeah, honestly, this is definitely good. Very good improvement. So they're actually building a good base, and in my opinion, the only other thing that I would need to see that would really signal HCWC as a good long-term buy and possibly signaling that it is at a bottom is seeing some form 4s of management actually buying. So ultimately, I've had two main concerns because, again, I'm very honest, and their earnings, they're a slow grower, but they are growing. That's the important part. They are growing, and they, unfortunately, being kind of how they are, they couldn't go to a traditional bank to get money. So they had to kind of go down the toxic debt route. So I'm not holding that against them because I know a lot of companies generally do. But I had two main concerns. One, they didn't have a website. Now they do. Second is management doesn't own any stock. Once they do, then that is going to be a signal that this stock is a buy. So just let me know your general thoughts on that. Aside from all of that fun stuff, just to give you a quick overview, shorts have actually started to get in a little bit more because of that abnormal volume. So 7.38% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 1.19 million shares overall being shorted. So short interest, just to put it in comparison, on a typical video when I would do it, it'd be at 0.47%. So shorts have quadrupled since that time period because of the recent price action. And so over the last 5 days itself, up 12.03%, but 22 cents was the low. So you could have made some very good money in reality, kind of swing trading this. But like I said, I think that there needs to be a little bit more updates and so forth. But still, I think HCWC is kind of moving in the right direction. And I do got to give them a round of applause for actually getting a website out. So this is very impressive. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. For those of you that want to day trade or swing trade with it right now at 31 cents, it's trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 29.7, 25.9 is going to be support levels. So just kind of watch for a lot of that. And then 33.6, 35.9 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So on Friday was a rather brutal day, not just for HCWC, but across the board. So it did briefly break below this pivot point of that 29.7. So again, if you want to dollar cost average, that might be a potential good entry point, or this S1. So let me know your general thoughts on HCWC. Are you buying, or what have you been generally doing with the stock overall? One final thing, if you're looking for some solid day trades, swing trades, pop over to my Patreon and put out daily day trades and all the fun jazz. So worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.